Hey guys, how you doing? It's Coach Tim, Guerrilla HAPKIDO. Before I do the video tonight, I want to give a big shout out to Marshall Paradise. They're the ones who made this gi. Check them out, marshallparadise.com. And if you see anything on the website you like, use my discount code, TonyH5, and get a 5% off discount. So, I try to run my class with a rank structure, kind of like the one in the Army. In the Army, you got your enlisted, those are from your privates, all the way up to your sergeant majors. You also got your commissioned officers. Those are your lieutenants, all the way up to your generals. The commissioned officers, they're the leaders of the pack. They lead the way. You're enlisted, they're the shoot 'em up kind of guys.
What about you, Master Tim?
What about me?
Yeah.
I was what you would call a non-commissioned officer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little, it's kind of a big deal. I would tell you more about it, but you know, I better go. I've talked enough of it.
Hey guys, how you doing? You know,
Great.
this guy, he always comes and talks about his Army stuff. A sergeant is like the lowest of the rung of any NCO or non-commissioned officer. I had, let's say, 17 sergeants, just E5 sergeants underneath me. He's just a baby. I mean, when he was a sergeant, I was a drill sergeant. That's a whole different story. So, he's trying to impress you, but only because you're not in the service. If you were in the service, you'd know.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So tonight we're going to show a couple of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu ground grappling submissions. And people always say that Jiu-Jitsu or grappling is the best way to win a fight. It's the best martial art to use for street self-defense. But a big question I have, First Sergeant and several other combative people have is, why if you go to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, do they have so many rules? I mean, last time I got into a street fight, there weren't any rules. And what I mean is, you get to a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, if you can't get your submission the way it is, they're going to throw a million rules at you. That's not the way it should be for a street fight. And I'm going to use an example. If we were trying to get a key lock or Americana from the top, the way I learned it, the way they teach it in traditional Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie combatives, Army combatives, or MACP, are with strikes. If I was slapping him and he put his hands up, that would give me the chance to come straight down for my key lock. So no, why not use that same slapping or getting him to do this to set up more arm bars? So, if I was on bottom, the last thing I want to do is stay here. He can reach down and punch me, and I can't punch him. And then if he started hitting me and I put my hands up, it's just going to open him up for that lock. So, as soon as I find myself on bottom and he grabs me, I'm going to pull him down. I'm going to go across my elbow inside his, and I'm going to bring his arm down. Now from here, I can do my traditional oompa, or I can go ahead and do a Guerrilla HAPKIDO wrist lock. While I'm holding him here, I'm going to grab his wrist, I'm going to pull it, I'm going to compress it, and I'm going to make it look at him. So key essential detail, I want to be able to trap this hand here before it grabs my lapel. Not that it won't work once it grabs my lapel, but I have to break that off. If I trap the hand here and I go, I went ahead and bent his arm down and I'm able to get the lock. Now I'm going to use that same wrist compression from my closed guard. He's in my closed guard, he might be trying to pass or fight. So I'm going to make his hands come up to his face. I'm going to slap, punch, as he's trying to block, I'll snake in right here, I'll bring down, and I'll do that same wrist compression. From right there, if I don't want to do the wrist compression, or if he's moving or grabbing or anything, I'll hold it right here, and now I'll grab his head and go for my arm bar. this is what happens. My legs are entangled. I'm holding on to him. My hands are being used. My legs are being used. If he has a partner, because it's a street fight, he can come up behind me and hit me. So how can I use my strikes and my grappling to take this fighter out, neutralize the situation, and be back up? So same thing. I want his hands up over his face. So when he gets up here, I might slap, I might punch. Now from here, I'm going to grab, I'm going to step out, and instead of going to his tricep like a real omoplata, I'm going to go a little lower to his elbow. That way I can lean up, I can kick, I can look, I can kick him in the face, stop down, and be back up. Key essential detail. If I was doing an omoplata one-on-one, I would want to be tight. And what I mean by tight is I want to come as close to his shoulder as I can. But the problem is my feet are tied up. I'm all the way on the ground now. If I come a little bit more shallow to his elbow, I can break his elbow. I can look away as I kick, stand up and engage his friends. I'm able to get up and take his partner out before he has a chance to come after me.
In action.
So there you guys have it. There's a couple of ways that we can use strikes, slaps, punches, maybe to get their hands up, at least as a distractor, and work our submission locks. If you're not doing jits with hits, if you're not thinking about real life self-defense, if you're not working multiple attackers, are you really doing jiu-jitsu?